Democratic Alliance will be electing its leaders at the end of October. The party's federal executive has resolved to holding a virtual elective conference on the 31st of that month due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The conference was initially meant to take place at the end of this month. Interim leader John Steenhuisen will be fighting to become a permanent leader. To speak more on this, Helen Zille, chair of the DA Federal Council, joins me on Skype from Cape Town. A very good morning to you. So you've got two conferences, the policy one in September, the elective one in October. Why the change, particularly to the elective one? Will everyone have access to the technology needed?
Well, we had to postpone the elective conference, obviously, because by May we would not have been ready, and we were certainly very unsure of what was going to happen. So we did not want to permanently set a date, but we knew that we had to have it this year, and then we decided on October 31st. The party was mandated by the Federal Council to hold its elective conference this year, which we therefore must do. And I then investigated all kinds of different technology platforms on which we could hold it successfully. We're trialing those, pioneering those in a whole range of measures. We've moved most of our operations online in the Democratic Alliance, almost everything. Later this month, we have a local government conference online. Beginning of September, we have our policy conference online. And then on October the 31st, we'll have our elective congress online.
What's your response to the concerns raised by this date? There are those who say that John Steenhuisen has an unfair advantage. The position he's in gives him the platform he needs in order to reach to people, which his contenders do not.
Well, if that is the argument, then whichever way you look at it, he is the interim leader. He is the duly elected interim leader. And he would have that platform whether we were going to have a face-to-face conference or whether we weren't. So, frankly, being the interim leader either could be an advantage to you or it could be a disadvantage to you, depending on how well you perform during that period. And so any incumbent has the advantage of incumbency, but there are also huge potential disadvantages to incumbency.
But how do you address crowds? How do you get your message out there?
Well, you don't have to address crowds. That's the entire point. Everybody's going to know who the delegates are to Congress, and everybody has an equal chance of accessing them because we'll make sure the technology links are there.
Let's talk about the court action that the DA is pushing. John Steenhuisen said that lockdown has cost more lives than it had saved lives, and the party's going to court. What is a win for you here, considering that the e-commerce issue has largely been dealt with?
Well, there were three issues that we raised as being irrational. The one was e-commerce. The second one was the curfew, which basically says you can't be out between 8 and 5, 8 at night and 5 in the morning, which is a completely unconstitutional restriction on people's lives, unrelated to health considerations. And then the last one is the exercise window. Those were the three irrationalities we were challenging. And then the second case, which is an entirely different case, is focused on whether or not the Disaster Management Act as a whole is constitutional. We say it isn't, because what it has done is that it's concentrated a very powerful amount of legislating, lawmaking powers in a group of the executive who are unaccountable to anyone. And that goes completely against the grain of the Constitution and would not, in our view, pass constitutional muster. And we've applied to go directly to the Constitutional Court to resolve that question.
Any idea how this is going to impact on your desire to move down a level as far as the lockdown is concerned? I know that you are at odds with the government in the Western Cape when that is concerned.
Yes, indeed. Well, you know, there's another case being taken, a very interesting case, challenging the notion that the national government has the right to decide on levels of lockdown for all provinces. That is going to be a very important and very interesting case that we will watch very closely. But we believe that, in fact, the entire economy should be allowed to open if enterprises can maintain the basic health protocols. That is sanitizing, social distancing, and mask wearing. Those three criteria, if any business can meet them, they should be allowed to function.
Helen Zille, good to talk to you. Thank you.